Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
Hey folks, I've got big shoes to fill here and for the main man, Jason Witten, today. My name's Tabitha Bright and I am head of the advisors / coaches. They get called both things at this present time in our space. And basically their job is to make sure that our clients are up and running, they have a property strategy, they understand the property market, and they can answer all the questions for our clients around investing. So today, first of all, a big hi. Please feel free to say hi in the chat. It'd be lovely to see a few of your names and see who's here today. What I wanted to talk about today is something called consolidation, which is a part of our investing journey. When we get started investing, we start off in acquisitions phase normally. And then once we've got a couple of properties, 1 or 2 under our belt, we hit consolidation. And this is usually when we can't necessarily move forward. Our strategy might have 2, 3, 4, 5 properties in order to hit our target income in retirement. But we can't always go out and just buy that number of properties, which would be pretty nice if we could. Does anyone here feel like they're in consolidation phase at the moment? Please put something in the chat if you are. I'd love to hear what your challenges are with your investing. I know a lot of people are having some challenges in the market at the moment with finance, with interest rates up nice and high at the moment. Well, not nice, up high. You can wash my mouth out with soap for saying nice. Well, up high. That can get in the way of people servicing. So you might have the deposit funds and the will to pop out there and buy some investment property. But if finance is getting in your way and you're not able to buy property at the moment, that can be a real challenge. Another thing that is getting in the way of people getting into the market, of course, is some fear around investing, what to buy, where to buy, what price point, and all of the above. There is also, when it comes to consolidation phase, it might be deposit funds. So your deposit funds might be causing you an issue. You might not have enough. You might not have enough for the stamp duty. And there's lots of ways we can get around these things, guys. So what do you do when you hit consolidation phase? It's a bit quiet out there at the moment. So if you do have some questions around this, please put it in. I was looking at some property in New Zealand. I'm originally a Kiwi, and every generation, every cycle in the market has its own challenges. And when I first started investing, interest rates were high like they are now, but they were even higher. I'm a bit of an old duck. I've been investing for around 30 years. That's crazy, isn't it? And when I first started investing, interest rates were up around 13, 14%. And hey, Kevin, Lakeland, Florida, my goodness, that's quite away from Australia. But I was having a look at investing in New Zealand again, just personally for myself, because I'm a Kiwi and it makes sense for me to have some property for my personal strategy. And it's been a while since I invested in New Zealand. And I was looking around my hometown of Wellington, and we often have this idea that we have we have some unique challenges in the market that are tougher than anyone else's challenges, that that preclude us from getting into the market. And like I said, it's been a long time since I've been in the New Zealand market, and I know they don't have capital gains tax per se, they don't pay stamp duty, and I was thinking, well, this is, I really should get my butt back into the market. And I was doing some numbers, and I hadn't taken into account their rates. Does anyone here know what the rates are like? The council rates. I'm not talking body corp or anything like that. The council rates in Wellington in particular. Because every market has its challenge. And I was thinking, well, I might just pop over into Wellington and have a look on a property that I was looking at. Let's call it a $1 million property. My rates in Wellington were going to be $8,000 per annum. That doesn't include apparently rubbish collection. It doesn't include water and sewage, because they don't pay for that separately. And I was thinking, oh my Lord, like, a friend of mine was telling me that they've got 3 properties and their rates are $21,000 per annum. That's just rates. That's not insurances. I thought, geez, like, yes, we have some challenges here in the market, but it's not insurmountable. And I also saw an article where it was talking about the bank of mum and dad, and how Australians are relying on the bank of mum and dad to get into the market. You might have seen Jason talk about intergenerational wealth. Have any of you guys heard Jason talk about intergenerational wealth and the big transfer that's happening? Please put a yes in the chat if you have. And when Jason was talking about that, I thought, well, that's interesting, because I've also heard that a lot of people my age, late 50s and above, that are downsizing and do have made money in the market with property, are choosing not to pass it on. They're wanting to live a certain lifestyle. They're hitting retirement, and they don't necessarily want to put big cash outlays into their kids, into property. And hey, Sharon, thanks for helping me out here. Everyone's a bit quiet today. And I saw an article in the paper the other day, and they were saying that the bank of mum and dad is being used not only for deposit funds, but an average outlay of parents is around 130,000 when they're helping their kids out. And that money is not necessarily being used for a deposit, it's being used to service a mortgage. And I thought that was quite interesting and quite shocking, because people are having to spend that little bit more to get into the market. And so as investors, when we're looking at all of these things, and we're thinking, well, how are we going to manage to get 5 properties behind us? If we're going to be expected to look out for our kids, we're going to be expected, you're not going to invest in New Zealand because the outlay at the moment is far too great for your cash flow. But if you're wanting to get stuck into the market and be able to acquire your property, well, then we have to work out, how do we do that? And consolidation phase is as important a phase as acquisitions phase. So when we hit consolidation phase, what do you reckon? Courtney said she's taken advantage of the bank of mum and dad. So grateful. That's awesome, Courtney. I'm really pleased for you. And so then we go, well, if we hit consolidation phase, what if you hit consolidation phase and you haven't even got into the market yet with acquisitions phase? What if before you can even get started, you're hitting the wall? Would that be people out there? Because if that is, we need a plan. And what we've started doing for the coaches now and the advisors, we've started saying to the team, listen, we're seeing more people that are struggling even to get into their first property. So what we need is a plan in order to get you into a property. What that might look like is, how much can you save per month? What are you prepared to do in order to be able to save your maximum? I did a podcast interview just recently with a fellow named Bob Proven, and he had moved back in with his wife's parents, with his wife's father, in order to save the maximum for a deposit. What is up your sleeve? I've had clients that have gone out and had multiple jobs, and while I absolutely understand and respect it's not for everybody, and many of us are already under the pump as far as the hours we work, etc. If under 1% of Australia have 3 or more properties, that's our 1% club, then we have to do something different. And sometimes it means uncomfortable conversations about pulling your finger out and doing something different. So can you move home with mum and dad and save a bit extra? What can you do to eradicate as many bills as possible? Rent vesting, 100%. You might choose to buy your first investment property rather than buy your principal place of residence. But the first thing I say to people is, make sure you get your broker or your finance expert to run the numbers for you, because sometimes it can be beneficial to have your principal place of residence. Other times it's better for you if you buy an investment property first, and you can add the income and any negative gearing onto your income as well. So that can make a difference. Has anyone done anything particularly creative out there in order to get moving? If you already have property in the market, one of the good things around consolidation phase is making sure that you get your rents up. And rents is a funny thing. I see a lot of people, when I sit down and I do a coaching session with them, I see a lot of people that might have not upped their rents for 12, 24, 36 months, and sometimes even longer, particularly if you've got a really good tenant that you don't want to upset. They might have slightly difficult circumstances, i.e. single parent, or struggling with a job loss, or multiple commitments, like maybe they're looking after a parent or something that doesn't have income. And so negotiating what is right for you morally, along with what you need in order to hit your target. Because I truly believe, folks, without being greedy landlords, and I know Jason has some thoughts about that, because we're responsible for looking after ourselves and our families, we also have to just navigate that a little bit. And sometimes it might be going a bit easy. Work out if you were to raise the rent to market rent and that tenant couldn't handle that, then what would be your vacancy time, and maybe just take that off what you were going to raise the rent by, if that helps you navigate that. But remember, this is a business, and you do need to make sure that your costs are covered, because we do nobody any favors by being broke ourselves. In my personal view of the world, the better off we are, the more we have a commitment to help other people. But that doesn't always look like a handout. That might look like, how do we help educate? How do we pass knowledge on? How do we empower people? How do we empower our own family, our own kids? Sometimes it's as simple as giving people a book. If you're going to give your tenants a bottle of wine, why not give them a book? Give them a book on, give them Sam Sager's book on the property market. Sometimes that's all it takes to set somebody on a journey. I know Jason often talks about how he had a couple of books in his time that have really changed the trajectory of his life. The first one was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the second one was Leaving Microsoft to Change the World, so by John Woods. So both of those books were highly motivational for Jason and his wife, Shay, as to how they lived their lives and what trajectory they took in their wealth creation. I can see that Sharon said she had 2 jobs, raised 2 kids on my own. And I know Sharon's situation personally, and she has built a fantastic property portfolio that has given her choices as to what she chooses to do and how she assists her children, who, Sharon, I hope you don't mind me saying, I'm sure you don't, you're now a grandma, your kids are having kids, and it's once again that intergenerational transfer that is so important. But back to consolidation phase, folks, what I wanted to say was, as we get close to wrapping up, when you hit a wall, don't take it as a no. It's super, super important that we think of it in a way that is going to empower us. I remember somebody saying to me once, Tab, when you come up against a brick wall, think of it as a test from the universe. I don't know how foo-foo you guys are. I'm certainly not, but I do occasionally fall prey to it. And this was a foo-foo moment where he said to me, if you're hitting a brick wall, then think of it as the universe asking you, how badly do you want it? It's a test. Yeah. And so you have to find a way through. Just because you hit a brick wall, don't go, oh, okay, that was too hard. I wasn't meant to invest. Find a way, my friends. Come along to chats like this, listen to podcasts, come along to Positive Real Estate Run investor seminars. We have them running weekly. Pick up bits of information, get around other investors, educate yourself, come up with a plan, and then get your plan sense checked by people that you trust and respect. You know, I like to think Positive's been in the market for over 22 years. We've taught people to invest through the GFC, through COVID, through, you know, booms and busts all over the place, mining booms and busts, you know, lending crackdowns, you name it, and all of them have an impact on the market. This is just the latest part of cycle of the market, and there'll be a way through. There always is, folks. So never take no as an answer. Property is still one of the best bets when it comes to creating long-term wealth. It's certainly where the wealthy hold their property. I think that's it from me for now. Thank you so much, and I hope that was of some value. Take care, friends. Bye.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.